Hello and welcome to the Puppet Zone. My name's Greg and today we're going to be looking at puppet backdrops. That's right, backdrops. We want to look at some ways that you can easily set the scene for your puppet show or the story that you're going to be telling. And backdrops are a great way to let people know where the story is taking place. And it can be as detailed or as generic as you want to, but backdrops are a great way to focus people in on what you're doing. So we're going to look at a couple of different things that I've used over the years. One of the easiest thing to use is paper. You can buy those big white rolls. We used to call them butcher paper. And you can draw and stick things to them and make a backdrop if you need to. You can purchase these bulletin board paper rolls in a variety of colors and patterns. And so these work great. You just stretch them out. They're usually about 4 feet wide. And so that's plenty of room to have with your front stage in front. And these will cover up the back and kind of set your stage. And so these work well. You can hang your backdrops, especially with these paper ones, with a couple of different things, or at least that's what I've used. The easiest one to find probably are clothespins. These will hold paper up pretty well. They're probably not going to hold some of your heavier backdrops we're going to look at. Binder clips are great. They come in a variety of sizes. I don't know if you can see that or not. But these are those little black clips. Those work great. They're strong and they're going to hold well. You can find a variety of clamps or clips. This is a woodworking clamp. You got it at a local hardware store. These work well. And this one actually came with an inexpensive backdrop set, and it actually it clamps on well. But whatever you have, you want to be able to affix your backdrop to your frame. Now, if you're going to put it on a wall, you can use thumbtacks or tape or whatever it is that will hold up what you're doing. So paper is an option. Now, another great thing about paper is you can find pattern paper. Let's see if I can show this well enough. This is a wood plank paper. And once it's up, I mean, from a distance, it's pretty believable. We did it with a cabin. We created a pirate ship inside of a pirate ship with it. And so you can find a variety of paper patterns from stone and wood, just a variety of things. You can find some different scenery kind of things. And so those work really well. Those you can find in like educational stores. Here in the States, Mardell carries like the solid colors and some of the patterns. You can get on some educational site or some paper sites. And another good one too is some sites that sell things for like prom and graduation. You can find a variety of not just the pattern paper, but also props and kind of things like that. So, but again, you can also get white paper and you can paint it and color it. You can use markers or crayons or whatever you need, and you can design your own puppet set. So, another way to create your puppet set is to use one of my favorite resources, and that is painter's drop cloth. Not the plastic one, but the canvas. Let me show you what that looks like. Okay, so here we have an older one that I did years ago. This is a school classroom. You've got a teacher's desk, you've got a chalkboard, and so your puppet stage would set up in front of it, and then your puppet would be able to stand by the desk, look at the chalkboard, and so it's a fairly easy way to create a backdrop. Again, it's that painter's drop cloth, and then I took my pattern and I used a projector of sorts, one of those overhead projector things, and I was able to trace the picture with the black lines, and then I actually attempted to use an airbrush and airbrushed it, but you could brush it with a paintbrush, used some watered down acrylic paint, and it worked really pretty well. It's not going to win any awards, but it is an easy way to set the scene. Takes a little bit of time, but it's durable, and we've had this one for a number of years. So you can create your own. Your other option is to buy some backdrops. And so there are different types of backdrops available depending on what you're doing. Party stores sell backdrops. Now they're usually a really thin plastic. You may have seen them for like different holidays and birthday parties and different themes. They tend to go on the wall, but they're super thin. Sometimes it's really thin paper, and so there's a variety of those that are option. And if they're going on the wall and they're not coming, they're not moving, they may work for you for a while. But if there's going to be any kind of taking down or moving around, they're not going to last very long. Okay, another option is a type of plastic canvas. It's definitely thicker than paper. It's not quite as durable as or as thick as cloth, but it works really well. This is obviously a set of lockers, and it's several years old. It was given to me after somebody used it for a drama skit, and so they've got some things stuck on it. But it's durable. You can wipe it off if it gets dirty. But again, it's kind of photo quality. It looks really great. And again, it would work really well for a puppet skit. It's a little out of scale for puppets maybe, but especially if you're going to combine puppets and live action, then it may work really well for you. But these are great too. I'm sure these are found on Amazon. I've never purchased one, but they do look good. Another option, of course, is the cloth backdrops. Let's look at a couple of those. Okay, the last option that we're looking at today are cloth backdrops. These are typically for photographers or videographers, and so you can find them at those different kind of sites online. I've bought several of those we use for photo backdrops, but I also love to use them for puppet backdrops. This was given to me. Somebody had a Grand Canyon birthday party, and when they were done, they didn't need the backdrop anymore. And it's a nice cloth. It's going to last a long time, and so it works pretty well. You'll notice it's got some wrinkles in it. That is one of the issues that you'll deal with cloth backdrops. But they're pretty easy to deal with. You can get a wet wash rag or towel and throw them both in a dryer and let them run for a while, and those wrinkles will work themselves out. If you've got a little hand steamer, these work really well. You can steam those out as they're hanging, and so you want to stretch your backdrops pretty tight, and that's going to help your wrinkles as well. And so, but they work really well. These are some other ones that I've used. I use this one quite a bit. This is, I don't know if you can see that or not. This is kind of a forest scene, and I used some old artificial trees and some plants, and it made the set kind of three-dimensional or interactive. The puppet can come in and out of those fake trees and plants, but this was the backdrop, and it just kind of made it all more believable, and they came out really well. Let me see if I've got a clip. I think I have a clip of this. I'll show you what that looks like. Oh, hello there. My name's Professor Doodle. You can find all kinds of patterns and scenes. This is kind of a old brick wall. You know, if you were doing like an archaeologist or a treasure hunter, or you were doing a Bible story or something, that would work well. Now typically you can buy them in a variety of sizes, and so you don't have to get huge backdrops because you're working with puppets, and so you want to find one that's going to fit your scene or your stage, and so they don't have to be huge because the bigger they are, the more they cost. But there's a variety of different things out there, and so you can also find solid colors. Sometimes a solid color is all you need, especially if most of your activity is going to be on your puppet, or you have a prop that's setting most of your scenes. Then a simple color backdrop is going to work well. Now your backdrops can be hung on your existing puppet stage. If you're not using a full stage, you can always attach it to the wall behind your front stage, and it'll work just as well. And so cloth backdrops work really well, and you can find a lot of different options for your puppet show. Another option for backdrops, if you're doing video, is a green screen. A green screen will allow you to put yourself anywhere. You can use still images, you can use video clips, and so you can pretty well do anything that you want to using a green screen. but it's really only practical for video. I'm not sure how you would do it in with a live audience because it's all done with computers after the fact. But if you're doing video, green screens are a great way to do it. The most difficult thing with green screens that I've found is getting it lit well, because you need to be able to light your back screen really well so that you don't have shadows. And I always have shadows because you also have to light yourself. And so it's a balance, and I'm definitely no expert because I've never figured it out. So I spend a lot of time in post trying to get the shadows out and getting it set up. But software has gotten smarter and smarter, and so it's gotten easier and easier to do. So if you're handy with a video editor that has a green screen capability, then green screen is a great option. Okay, so in wrapping up, there's a lot of things that you can use for backdrops, whether it's paper or cloth, patterns or solid colors. It really depends on what you're doing and really where you're going to be doing it, how long you're going to be doing it. If you're going to be setting up and tearing down every time, you probably want to invest in something that's durable, like a heavy plastic or most likely a cloth or canvas. If you're doing a specific, in a specific scene, you want to find something that's going to work really well for what you're doing. If you're going to be doing a lot of different things, it'd probably be practical to buy some kind of a generic backdrop, and then you can use your props and set pieces to really help dial in what your theme is. But a simple generic background would work for a lot of different themes in shows and stuff. If all your stuff is going to be outside, then a simple scene with some trees and some grass and some sky may be great. And then you can add in different things, whether it's a Western, you put a cowboy hat on, or have a stick horse, or if you're going to be, in the park or whatever. And so generic backgrounds may be the best way to go unless you're doing something specific and for an extended amount of time. So check out Google some photo backdrops or video backdrops, and you can find a variety of different things that may suit your needs. Okay, hope this was helpful, and we'll see you next time here on The Puppet Zone.